Welcome to The Last Track, where we help people showcase the last track of their life story in their final wishes. I am your host, Brian Norris, the co-owner of Bateman Funeral Home in Newport, Oregon. Just like a song can bring you back to a day, a time, and a memory, so too can a well-planned service. Today, one of the questions that we have is, can we scatter our remains in like a place like Agate Beach? Maybe a city park or a national park or a forest park or any of these locations. You might want to make sure that you check with whoever's in charge of those parks to see if there's going to be a rental fee. There's a lot of places that have some really beautiful gazebos or meeting place for picnics and that kind of stuff. Sometimes you can rent a location and it's minimal cost, but make sure that you're checking ahead of time to be able to have that location, especially if you need to reserve it because you don't want to have somebody else having a picnic planned where you're going to show up and have a memorial planned. So check on that. We have a location in Newport that's kind of a favorite spot, and it's the Fisherman's Memorial. It's a beautiful location overlooking, the bay where people cross the bar and go out into the ocean. And you can use that location and see it. It does cost sometimes, and you do need to reserve it to make sure you're going to have it. But you may look around in your area and see if there's places like that as well that would be applicable to memorializing your loved one. Here along the Oregon coast. Couple rules to follow is if it's a national or a state location, you need to let them know that you're going to be doing that. If it's a private location, you need to get permission from the owner of that private property before you scatter those. And if it's your own private land, then yes, you certainly can do that. But in order to scatter cremated remains in like Agate Beach Park, you would need to fill out an application and let them know you're planning on doing that. And then they will send you a letter authorizing that you can take and scatter the remains at the park. They will also give you a few rules to follow. Number one, they don't want you to just dump it. And I hate to say the word dump it, but a lot of people, as they're scattering, as they start to do the scattering, it goes plop, and then it's like dumped in one position, in one place. So if they want you to scatter it over a broad area. A couple other things to remember: which way is the wind blowing? You don't want to be standing downwind when you're scattering the ashes. Otherwise, you have the ashes of your loved one going on you, or maybe somebody else that's there with you. Also, please don't leave a marker. That's you cannot leave a marker where you scatter the ashes. You can do it on your own property. If you get permission from somebody that owns the property, you can certainly do that, but you're not supposed to leave a marker where you scatter those ashes. If you're going to be going to a community park and you've talked with the people, the people that are in charge of the park, and you get permission, what a great way to, after you're done having a celebration of life, is to bring a tree and plant it and have everybody be involved in planting that tree in that park. Maybe it's, by the river, wherever, plant a tree in their memory. And that's a beautiful way to remember your loved one. And I mentioned this in a previous podcast, but, if you think about it, that tree can live 100, 200 years, 300 years maybe, depending on the type of tree. And then if you think about it as well, that tree is going to be having seeds, and that tree may have multiple trees come from that tree. And so that is going to be a legacy for centuries to come. Hopefully that lets you know that as far as scattering, where you can do that, how to do that. If you're going into national forests, You can also go down paths or to places that maybe you had a location that was a favorite of yours and your loved one that has passed away. You can certainly do that there. We've also, if you're going to be doing it in the bay or a river type of a thing, make sure you know who's downstream. Make sure that you have permission, and make sure that you just make sure you're aware of your surroundings before you do the scattering, so that way you're not, again, scattering on somebody downstream or downwind. Hopefully you liked what you heard.